In tonight's research, Magilumiere Episode 1, Magical Girls, Job Hunting in Japan, and 3 moments of the show. Let knowledge flow. Hola, minasan! Welcome back for the first round of Magilumiere research. Yes, Magilumiere Magical Girl Inc. or Magilumiere Company Limited, or, well, it's got multiple names, so here we go. Kabushiki Gaisha Magilumiere. Pick your poison. I'm just gonna call it Magilumiere, just for simplicity's sake. So, what's the series about? It's about the best way I could describe it is this. You know The Boys? How in The Boys, superheroes got corporatized, and you have stars are made out of superheroes, and they make public appearances. Yeah, it's like that, but with magical girls. However, they're not underage magical girls. They're grown women, career women, who play the role of magical girls. It's an amazing concept. I like it. I have been reading the manga in English, so I am very much up to date with the series, and I'm starting to work on the Japanese language version. Even though I've already read, but now that I understand the plot and everything, it's gonna help me be able to read, understand the context and everything. So that's is a pretty helpful thing. So I figure I'd put that on display for all of you. So I'm very excited to see the anime, see how they did it, see all the wonderful characters, Kana, Hitomi, Koji, Kaede, and Kazuo, of Magilumiere Company Limited, and see pretty much how they got the manga to pop up to life in anime, just like with Dan Da Dan. I'm very excited for this, and guys, you're going to love this world. It's such a good world build, such a great concept. So let's not waste any time. Call to action: comment, like, subscribe, follow, hit the notification bell, and let us begin the research. All right. The CGI is very noticeable. I already like the voice actress. Riding on 2 motorcycles. The cat head. Now, what's interesting is that many magical girl shows, they just say like 2 or 3 words and the spell is out. Here, they take their time, do an incantation. Also, I like the USB port that they go into a USB. Like, they really brought together the how you say, science and magic. Here we go. You gotta do like the manga, like the anime. So yeah, these are all corporations, like Ghostbusters. Why did they show that? They shouldn't have showed him. That spoiled everything. See, this is why I don't like openings. They always spoil. That was such a funny moment in the manga when he popped up. Seriously, they shouldn't have showed the boss. That was the surprise. No more motorcycles.
さっき社長と話して新卒で魔法少女を募集することに決まりました。それがね、さっきの退治を見て越谷さんに無理させて申し訳ないって。
そっか、ついに新人か。
越谷さんはどんな子に来てほしい？
玉のあるやつかな。うちみたいな零細ベンチャーでやっていけるような。
桜木かなと申します。よろしくお願いいたします。
どうぞお座りください。
はい。
自己 PR をどうぞ。
私の強みは努力家であることです。あらゆる事態に対処できるようにしています。
ご存知の通り、弊社はエンタメビジネスですが、桜木さんは弊社のどのような部分に強みを生かせますか？
Good question.
御社にインドでの遊園地構想がありますけど、インドは21世紀から遊園地ビジネスが確かに盛んな一方、また宗教的な配慮も行う必要もあります。そういった調査はできると思います。
Oh boy. You're trying too hard.
調べたこと自体は良いのですが、何かもっとご自分の言葉でありますか？
Yeah.
お疲れ様でした。
Yeah, interviews are so tough.
お伝えいたします。
They're so tough, man. Yeah, you don't want to do things like that. You gotta speak from your own self. Yeah, it's all nice and everything to do research and talk about the research, but that's not what they're looking for when you're doing interviews.
遊園地ってどういうデマだよ。勘弁してくれ。
なんか社長が言ったっぽいです。いやー、数日前インドの地方紙のインタビューでちらっと言ってたみたいで、あの子ヒンディー語まで翻訳して読んだんですかね。
就活生は頑張るね。
マニアの域ですよ、本当。
Uttar bucks.
モカチップクリームを削いで。
思い出せない。直近3名様分だよ。
私わからなくなっちゃって。3人分でいいんですか？最初の方がトールモカチップクリームでソイに変更、ショートキャラメルアイスマキアートでチョコソース追加、最後の方がショートアイスバナナクリームで追加にキャラメルソースです。
That's a rare thing for a person to have. She wasn't paying any attention yet. She still heard all that and got it right. You don't have to demonstrate helping people. That comes with the job.
金融会社だ。自己 PR 復習しよう。努力家っていうのじゃダメかな。
Yeah, don't ever say that. Don't ever say you're a hard worker. They know you're gonna be a hard worker.
面接の部屋、暖房つけた？
まだです。整備って？
海地調査とかさ。あれ毎年やんなきゃだけど結構コストがかかるから。
会議とか出たり。
いやー、そうないっしょ。ここだし、暖房マックスにしてコーヒー飲むと。
Ooh. Many eyes. They're all freezing. There's even frost breath coming out of the ice breath. Ice Kai. Yep, you're gonna lose your job. You're gonna be bowing a lot. The eyes. Anywhere that's quick, cheap, and won't make a scene. Magilumiere.
ホームページ見たんですが、すぐ来ていただけるって。お任せください。秒で魔法少女向かわせます。
変身してくる。
That's a broom. Just so you know, that's the broom.
システムログイン。コード集起動。
The posing. They didn't skip out on the transformation sequence, and yet there are panels that do this, complete with the effects saying whoosh. All of that wasn't in the manga. And their eyes like, Frostoid. What in the Dangan robot animation is going on here? You're the one that didn't do your job. Transformations take a very long time.
ちょっと目立つような真似は。
これ
Yeah, it got a little bit more dangerous.
退治してくれ。
You really think it's that
無
easy?
理です。この育ち方では安全な胎児に最低2人はいる。海地調査は企業の義務。
課長、これうちらクビですか？
Yes, you will.
いや、整備は俺たちの責任じゃないし。
くそ、やっぱり手が足りない。
協力会社も今探してるけど、早くて来られるのが30分後だ。
ガイの一発打ち込みはくたばるけど、それやると部屋ぶっ壊すし、小規模魔法を連弾するにしろ、確実に途中で弾が
I really see. This is what I like. They really take into
お力添えいただけませんか？
really take into account like collateral damage, safety, and everything.
一人で十分です。
いや、発注元に仕事させるか普通。
そんな話は後でいいだろ。
でも1名出すんだったら社内通さないと。
Ah, I never noticed the raccoon tail on that.
お手伝いします。
マジ？
これは試験じゃない。ここでの動きは面接には加算されないぞ。
Guys, priorities, dude.
選考は辞退します。別にすごい入りたいわけでもないし。
Ooh.
大設計ってもんがないのか最近の子は。
Listen to y'all.
何すればいいですか？
その端末の段数見てて。それが50くらいになったら重点アイコンを押すだけ。くっそ、ドア凍ってんじゃん。出力は1に120、5に50から70。以下をローテ、業務、実行。
Man, they really great animation with the magic. Really kicking butt.
なんだ、えらいしぶとい。
Mayorsoft Inc.
魔法少女さん、もしかしてですけど、魔法弾の種類が違うんじゃ。端末には対スピード回って書いてあって、でもあの回全然動きがないし、例えばこれの前のお仕事の時の弾設定のままとか。
Yeah, your previous fight.
道具クソじゃねえか。だね。
こちらで弾を変更して充填しますか？
いやいや、無茶無茶。変更方法とか意味不詳。
魔法管理アプリダンスーちゃん、マイヤーソフト社2020年製。主な特徴はワンタッチ操作での魔法の変更。簡易操作ならデモ画面を見たことがあります。
her crazy research.
覚えました。
Yeah, she got one hell of a memory.
はい。
Memory recall.
一般人に仕事頼むのは営業から目玉食らうんだけど、お嬢ちゃんの安全は死んでも守るから。
I believe this thing hit 0 already.
役に立ててくれ。100段補充頼む。
了解です。
All that talking, the ammo should have already been blinked out.
しゃあ、あと10秒持たせられる。
間に合わなかったら
心配ねえべ。
Ah, this is good animation going here.
うちの仕事だから。
充電完了しました。
テンプレ25。
The cat.
ローテ再現。ドーム実行。コア見えた。圧縮納品。形式ウィット。
It's time to get the Ghostbuster trap. Take it to the containment unit.
無事業務完了。
私ちゃんと役に立てたんですね。
ああ、立ったよ。すげえ助かった。
Oh, Jojo. And 1 million internet people have shipped the two immediately.
ただいま。
一般人の協力要請はあれほど。
You're hired.
入社希望の新卒だ。
いや、ほとんど一般人でしょ。
細けえな。
ここが魔法少女企業。建前じゃない言葉が飛び交ってて、なんだか学校の部室みたいな。
全員に面倒せんじゃん。
お客さんか緑川。
越谷さんが新卒の子。
越谷ご苦労だったな。
Voice is pretty good.
君か新卒の子。
See, this is why I don't like that the opening revealed revealed Shigemoto. This was such a big reveal. Yeah, it kills the whole entire scene. What a fantastic start for the adaptation. The panels really did pop to life, and it was pretty pretty cool. everything that you come to expect for a Magical Girl series. Only we're dealing with grown women, which is a great take on the whole genre. This is a pretty fun series so far, and the first episode is genuinely fun. So the big question is, why are they called? If they're grown women, why are they called magical girls? The key word being girl. Well, the thing is, the genre, which is pretty big in Japan, very, very big in Japan. Usually, it's like a focus on teenage girls who are superheroes, not unlike the teenage superheroes that we have here in the United States, like the Teen Titans, where you had Starfire and Raven. They were teenagers. Even more recent Teen Titan movies, animated movies that come out. You have you have teenage female superheroes. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of female teenage female superheroes all around throughout DC, Marvel, as well as action-packed movies like let's just say like the Hunger Games, Katniss, teenage girl being a hero and so on. But in Japan, it's a pretty big genre. It really goes back a long time ago, but it was Sailor Moon that kind of changed the way everyone looked at the magical girl genre. Over here at TV Tropes, they can help explain a lot better what this is all about. So basically, known as Maho Shoujo in Japanese, magical girl, sometimes Machoko, witch girl. Magical girls are empowered by various means with fantastic powers that both assist and complicate their lives, but manage to persevere despite this. Despite some negative pushback from more traditional-minded communities, magical girls have high crossover popularity in different demographics with some minor but appropriate design modifications and make up a sizable portion of shoujo and bishoujo fandom. So basically, because they're superheroes, they do draw the attention of males, and sometimes you get those companies forget the primary demographic, which is teenage girls and preteen girls in Japan. Japanese preteen and teenage girls, they are the primary demographic of the magical girl. But sometimes you get a good series like Sailor Moon that transcends and draws in the male demographic, and then you get some companies that see those numbers and forget what they're handling with in terms of storytelling, and it gets to a very extreme nature that can be very off-putting and can hurt, and actually did hurt the magical girl genre for the most part. That's why TV Tropes pointed out, despite some negative pushback from more traditionally minded communities, it has happened. That's why Magilumiere for me is like a breath of fresh air, which is a very fascinating and amazing take on the magical girl genre, in which the magical girls are actually grown women, career women. There are various tropes. You have the cute witch, where magic is mundane to the character. The magic idol singer, who initially uses her powers for her own benefit. Magical girl genre deconstruction. Subgenre themed around deconstructing and subverting magical girl. Magical girl warrior, mostly in the superhero role fighting evil. Magical girl warriors arguably have the widest demographic appeal, and in the West are often synonymous with shoujo, let alone the idea of a magical girl, because of Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon was the first magical girl to come to the United States on official capacity, and she was the one that helped. Sailor Moon, along with Dragon Ball Z, together helped solidify anime's presence on a much, elevated its presence. Like, everybody was aware of Japanese animation, going all the way back to like Astro Boy, Speed Racer, Battle of the Planets, which was known as Gotcha Man in Japan. In the 80s, he had Voltron, Transformers, Robotech, which is known as Macross in Japan. But it was in the mid 90s when Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z came out that they elevated anime to a much more higher level in terms of television. Where Akira did it for the movies, Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z did it for television. The boys had the action punching adventures of Goku, martial arts action with Dragon Ball Z. The girls got their magical girl warrior from Sailor Moon and the Sailor Scouts, and of course, both shows appeal to both demographics, males and females. Both shows. That's what helped get the anime in America really up there. But Magical Girl ended up going the wayside after Sailor Moon's after Cartoon Network successfully got the first 4 seasons of Sailor Moon, because they never did the Sailor Stars, but they were able to get all 4 seasons of Sailor Moon up, and that's when the Magical Girl genre started to wane down a bit in terms of putting on American television. In terms of the DVDs, oh boy, there was a whole ton of Magical Girl shows that were popping up, from Tokyo Mew Mew to Cardcaptor Sakura. They were popping up everywhere until it hit that one major apex of a show called Magic Girl. Was it Puella Magi, Madoka Magica? Yeah, when Madoka came out, yeah, that changed the genre a bit. In which we get the Magic Girl genre deconstruction. It is their Evangelion in a sense. Yeah, and that's when the Magic Girl genre started going into weird directions. Very, very weird directions that led to despite some negative pushback from more traditionally minded communities, and the Magic Girl genre kind of imploded onto itself, leaving behind only the Pretty Cure series, which stayed 100% focused and back to basics in target demographic being teenage and preteen Japanese girls. So Magilumiere brought about the Magical Girl back up to the supposed to bring it back up to the whole thing, but it's become more niche now than anything else. History of the genre may come as a surprise to learn that the Magical Girl genre is descended effectively from the American live-action Magical Girlfriend sitcom Bewitched. While 2 series claimed the role of first Magical Girl anime, Mitsuteru Yokoyama's Mahotsukai Sally, or Sally the Witch, from 66 to 68, and Fujio Akatsuka's Himitsu no Akachan, broadcast in 69, but its manga predates Mahotsukai Sally. The creators of both credit Bewitched as a primary inspiration for their work. Yokohama explicitly adapted its concept for a younger audience, while Akatsuka merely says he was inspired by it. Sally the Witch's American counterpart, Archie's Sabrina the Teenage Witch, then known as the Sabrina portion of Sabrina and the Groovy Ghoulies during its early years, was an early American example of a Magical Girl show, and the first animated Magical Girl series to be produced and aired in the United States and ran as a Saturday morning cartoon. This early Magical Girl show was very unusual that it included a laugh track. Yeah, American animation around that period, we're spotting up laugh tracks for some weird reason. Which is not present in Sally the Witch, which didn't come to America, but more common in American-produced cartoons. Another important early Magical Girl show was Machoko Meg-chan in 1974. This was the first show to be marketed to boys as well as girls, and featured a number of developments. It was the first Magical Girl show to have a tomboyish heroine. All Magical Girls prior to this had been sweet, feminine girls. Feature a rival to the main character, Non, Meg's rival, and the local dark magical girl. Include a really evil character. Prior to this, there was a perception that young girls couldn't handle such things. Boy, were they wrong. Feature fan service in the form of the panty shots, slight nudity, Megu being a borderline Philly Fatale. What the heck is that? I don't even know. As well as lovable sex maniac characters, Megu's stepbrother Robbie, and ineffectual, sympathetic villain Cho. Touch on more serious social issues like domestic abuse, extramarital relationships, drug abuse, and have the heroine not only lose fights, but having to face serious consequences like deaths, injuries, humiliations, etc. So Yeah. Machoko Meg-chan from 1974. Originally, all Magical Girls were produced by Toei Animation in Japan or Filmation in the US, so Magic Girl wasn't so much a genre as series franchise. This lasted until Ashi Productions' Magical Princess Miki Momo hit the airwaves in 82 in Japan, and Deek's Rainbow Bright in 83, followed by Studio Pierrot's Creamy Mommy, The Magic Angel in 83, the first Magic Idol singer show, a one-shot OVA, original video animation, produced in 87, featured a Bat Family crossover. That must be a genre. That must be a TV trope name. Between Studio Pierrot's 480s Magical Girls shows, Creepy Mommy, Persia, The Magic Fairy, Magical Amy, The Magic Star, and Magical Idol Pastel Yumi. This was the first instance of a Magical Girl team. My Little Pony was not considered a Magical Girl series, but some series were indeed part of the genre. While, here's another trope phrase. Love and Bloom Warriors, Pat Chan and Amy Chan isn't exactly an anime series and actually a web video Magic Girl series. It gained positive reviews. Wow, did they inserted that in there? From creator Anaya Roberts Rush's subscribers for its unique anime influence. Okay. The Magic Girl Warrior subgenre didn't hit worldwide until She-Ra, Princess of Power in 85 for Western animation and Sailor Moon in 92 for anime. But 73 Cutie Honey, despite not being aimed at girls but having a lot of influence on the genre, was the first Magic Girl Warrior. Just so you know, Cutie Honey is an adult woman. This was essentially a combination of the earlier style shows with the superhero genre, or particularly the Super Sentai formula. Sailor Moon was a huge hit, and naturally other shows were made in the same style. A small further subgenre, the Magic Girl Warriors, the Magic Girl Phantom Thief, seen in Phantom Thief Shan, Kaito Saint Tail, and Hatena Illusion. The wave of shows inspired by Sailor Moon, anime, or She-Ra, Princess of Power, Western cartoons eventually subsided, but new genre spawned soon in its wake. As of present, most Magic Girl shows can loosely be organized into three broad categories: neoclassical, codified by Card Captor Sakura, essentially old school magical girl coming of age stories, updated with the sensibilities of modern age and the roles of girls and women in it, mainly aimed towards young girls, but often with a significant peripheral demographic of adult males. Contemporary examples include Ajamajo Doremi, Shugo Chara, and the Pretty Cure franchise, though that also fits the second set, which is the action hero created by Pretty Cure but codified by Magic Girl or Cold Nanaha. Magical Girl Warrior Territory, with emphasis on warrior and often enough hot blood to put a shonen fighting series to shame. Sinful Gear comes to mind. Largely aimed at the teenage and adult male demographic, yes. And as such, placing heavy emphasis on fan service. A little too much at times. From a lot of fighting scenes with calling your attacks, that's when they, do their magic spells, to magic technology porn, which we saw in Magilumiere with the broom and the iPad. The improbably female cast is frequently used as an excuse for less yay. What the heck is less yay? Oh gosh. The TV tropes got some weird phrases. Examples include Maihime, Vivid Dread, Operation, Sinful Gear, like I mentioned, Kill la Kill. Yes, very classical Kill la Kill. And then you have Deconstructive, codified by revolutionary girl Utena, debunking the very concept of a world where young girls are forced to confront evil as saccharine world. Another TV trope phrase there. Plenty of dark secrets and delving deep into the psychology of its cast, often with religious or philosophical references. Tends to skew towards teens and adult males, like the action hero variation, but there are a few works that aim towards young and teenage girls as well, often borders on surreal horror territory. Utena itself was considered the equivalent of Neon Genesis Evangelion and Berserk for the anime. That's funny because when Madoka Magic when Madoka came out, they all said that was Evangelion too. It was Evangelion as well. Other notable examples include Maihime, again, Princess Tutu, Daybreak Illusion, and Yukiuna as a hero. Yeah, they're very very dark. Very, very dark. Of course, there are other examples that feature similar themes but diverge even further from the old style shows. Many fans felt that such shows as Magic Knight Ray Earth, it's a classic, were still magical girl shows despite all of the similarities from previous generations. Others disagree and feel that Ray Earth is a shoujo RPG world fantasy instead. I would have to agree with that assessment. It did come off like a Magical Girl series, Magic Knight Ray Earth, but they rarely did anything that was really characterized as a magical girl, as as the genre was defined, as the way the genre was defined. Yeah, it was really an an isekai RPG adventure. So, yeah. So, what is Magical Girl anime? This is from What Nerd, written by Renz Federicio. 6 things to know before watching. So, we'll skip the preamble here because it's explained what the genre is. We already got that. So, let's start this here. This is Magic Knight Ray Earth here. This Umifu and Hikaru. It crosses target demographics. While the main target audience for shoujo anime is young girls, as it should be. Prioritize that. Magical Girl anime often incorporates elements that appeal to much wider variety of viewers, so don't be put off by the Magical Girl nomenclature, which is very true. Magic Knight Ray Earth is one such example. It's a typical Magical Girl anime. Yes, they are magical girls. They are dressed like magical girls, but it doesn't come off in the traditional sense, as we know it. It's a typical Magic Girl anime that features teenage girls who are brought to another world, because that's the thing, it's an isekai. But also it has the addition of cool mecha, rune gods, and save the world plot that feels more like a shonen hero story. That's the thing, it does come off like a shonen. That's the kind of stuff that anyone could like, and it's pretty common throughout the sub-genre. You'll often find that Magic Girl anime series aim for a broad mix of target audience by blending several genres, concepts, and styles into one. I would say Madoka Magica is a good example of crossing stretching out to the wider audience. The subgenre has no limits. Oh, that's a mecha anime. Number 2, subgenre has no limits. To expand on the above, Magic Girl anime is an expansive subgenre when it comes to ideas and styles. It can feature pretty much anything, including mecha, isekai, and even sentai elements. Most definitely, the sentai elements is big. That's a big thing when you make an all-girl team. It's definitely got the Sentai elements in there. That's because magical fantasy often opens up all kinds of potential for plot devices and character concepts. No matter how far-fetched a premise might seem on its own, Magic Girl anime is so good at making it all come together in ways that let you suspend disbelief. For example, consider Magic Girl anime Pretty Cure, also known as Precure. It has over a dozen anime series that have their own tone, styles, and storylines that distinguish themselves from each other, but the Magical Girl squad remains its primary focus. They're a good example of comparing it to Sentai. If you've seen the Sentai series, it's almost like a whole new series every year, like a whole new group, whole new adventure and everything. Precure does the same thing. It's always a whole new group of, like, you're not gonna see these girls in the next season. It's gonna be a completely different group of magical girls, not this group here, but someone else completely different, and they're gonna have an adventure. And Sentai does that. Super Sentai does that. It's often filled with romance, most definitely romance everywhere. Yeah, even though Magical Girl anime crosses genres and appeals to many, it's still a subgenre of shoujo. That means cute adolescent romance. Nearly every Magical Girl anime series heavily features romantic relationships, unlike shonen, which might feature the occasional romance, but often focuses on the powers of friendship and teamwork. Shonen's always got a shonen. Shonen's got a shonen, no matter what. These love story plots in Magical Girl anime are partly there as fan service to younger female viewers, but they're usually written in a way that spices up the main plot and further develops the character. One example is the legendary couple Usagi Tsukino, Sailor Moon, and Mamoru Chiba, Tuxedo Mask. Their relationship is more than just romantic. It introduces all kinds of twists and turns throughout the Sailor Moon series, most definitely. Yuri and Yaoi characters. There's our cousins. There's our cousins. Our everyone's favorite magical girl cousins. Screw you, Deke. Because Magical Girl anime often involves fantastical plots that are a much higher concept than rom-com high school anime series, this subgenre is one that often introduces Yuri and Yaoi characters. Yuri refers to girls who have romantic relationships with other girls, while Yaoi refers to boys who have romantic relationships with other boys. But these relationships aren't always overtly intimate. One iconic example of Yuri is the relationship between Sailor Neptune and Sailor Uranus in Sailor Moon, while Yue and Toya in Cardcaptor Sakura stand out as an example of Yaoi. Yes, indeed. And costumes are iconic and important. And Cardcaptor Saga does this in spades. Tomoyo always dresses Sakura up in a costume so she could film her and have her do all kinds of magical girl poses. She's always sewing up her outfits. One thing that's common across Magic Girl anime is the prevalence of bold outfits and designs, which are meant to appeal to younger female viewers who are known for playing dress up with dolls. That makes a lot of sense, especially when you want to sell the toys. You know, when you're selling the girls' dolls, you know, you want the dress up aspect and everything. Even if you don't care too much about these cute, colorful costumes, you can't deny the artistry and creativity that goes into them. It's almost like the girl version of mecha anime and robot designs. Yes, that's right. Magic Girls stand out with their character designs, and it's one area where characters have immense freedom in drafting up ideas that are really out there. Plus, it can be lots of fun when the costume creation process is incorporated into the story itself as characters design themselves. Yep. Lots of good cosplayers out there. There's a lot of good cosplayers out there. For example, when Tomoyo learns of Sakura's identity in Cardcaptor Sakura, she gladly offers to create costumes for her, one for every mission. Another example is Fancy Lala, featuring singing idol Miho, who creates her own costumes by drawing in a magical sketchbook. Unfortunately, some Magical Girl anime series take it too far and end up over-sexualizing the characters with short skirts, skin-tight apparel, etc. And Goddess, for example, the character designs are too daring, but you can still notice the sexualized aspects. Yeah, that's the big problem. This is what TV Tropes is saying, despite some negative pushback from more traditionally minded communities. They do tend to get a little too far. Unless you're really being hyper satirical, like really next level satirical, in the case of Kill la Kill, which is what it was all about. It was all about the outfits, the costumes, and such, taken to a satirical level. There's some that tend to try to play it straight and really do over sexualize, and they forget. One, the target demographic, which is young girls, and two, forget that the characters they're drawing to target said demographic are also young girls, and it can be very, very off-putting, very off-putting. You know, it's what hurts the genre more than anything else. You know, you gotta really know who your target audience is and be extra careful. You know what I'm saying? Like, this here, this is Pretty Cure, and it completely targets underage girls, preteens, teenage girls, little girls, and that's why their outfits look so modest and good. But then if you show, but then you have Kill la Kill, which is not for underage girls. Teenage girls will watch it. Yeah, teenage girls will watch it. But for like preteens and below, it's not for them because the costume designs and the target demographic was not for them. So, but you get these morons who forget get little things. And if you just keep in mind, that the majority of mangaka that do make magical girls are women, and they design such costumes. And one good example is Tokyo Mew Mew. They are wearing certain accessories that that underage girls shouldn't be wearing certain accessories to go with their costumes. And that was drawn by a woman, by a two-woman team. Done by a two-woman team. So I'm just trying to stress out, because I know there's a lot of people on the internet be like, oh my god, it's the men who's drawing. No. Women create the bulk majority that create magic girl genres, and not all of them do this. Create costumes like this, modest costumes like this. Strangely enough, sometimes there'll be men who come up with some good modest costumes for magical girls, and you wouldn't even know it. You would expect them to be over sexualizing them and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's the that's the basics of Magical Girl, of the Magical Girl genre. They are primarily teenagers and primarily superheroes. But what's great about Magilumiere is that it's grown women and they're career women, and that adds a new interesting take on the genre itself. Speaking of which, another little aspect that was happening in the show was our main character, Kana. She's looking for a job, and she's basically inexperienced in job hunting. She does a lot of research, and she recites the research, but she's not saying in her own words, what it is that why she would want to work for the corporation that she signed up on. So it got me wondering, what is job hunting like in Japan? So JapanTruly.com has one such example. Let's see, there's no author here. So it's called Job Hunting in Japan, a guide. We'll take a couple look at these 10 things to know when looking for a job regarding hunting as foreigners in 2025. So this was just recently published 2 days ago, as of this recording, February 12, 2025. How to find jobs in Japan for foreigners. Getting a job in Japan as a foreigner can be a challenge but rewarding experience. Here's a breakdown of the key steps involved. Preparation. Visa. You'll need a valid work visa to legally work in Japan. Yes. Specific visa types depends on your situation, but the most common types for foreigners include the highly skilled professional visa, the basic working visa, and the job seeking visa. Each has its own requirements, so research thoroughly. Japanese language, always learn another language. If you're going to go to a foreign country, do not dare go there thinking that they're going to accept you speaking only English or whatever language you came from. They expect you to know their language. And in this case here, Japanese. And you need to read kanji. There's no escaping it. You have to learn to read kanji. And they expect it. Yes, you could say it's not always mandatory, but they do expect it. Proficiency in Japanese is highly advantageous. Employees often look for a minimum level, usually measured by the Japanese Language Proficiency Test, JLPT. Consider taking language courses or study independently. Yes. They could sit there and say it's not always mandatory all they want. You need to learn to read and write Japanese if you are going to work. And yeah, the company will help you out, but you got to meet them halfway and be learning. Qualifications. Depending on the job, you may need a university degree, relevant work experience, or specific certifications. Research the requirements for your desired field. Resume and cover letter. Tailor your resume and cover letter to the Japanese job market, highlighting relevant skills and experience. Use a professional format and get feedback from native speakers if possible. Job search. Job boards. There's job boards. Utilize online job boards like Indeed Japan, Gaijin Pot. Jobs in Japan. Look for English-friendly listings or translate job description using tools like Google Translate. Recruiting agencies. Consider partnering with recruiting agencies specializing in placing foreigners in Japan. They can provide guidance and connect you with suitable opportunities. Networking. Attend industry events. Connect with professionals on LinkedIn. And join online communities to build your network and gain insights into the job. Interviewing research. Learn about the company culture, interview etiquette, and typical interview questions. Prepare answers in advance and practice using mock interviews. Just remember, even though it said research, Kana's research in the show, she went a little too far on the research and started talking about company matters. That's not they don't care about what you know of the company matters. They're looking for a little bit more. Dress professionally, of course. Anybody who knows that, especially in Japanese business attire, business suit. Gotta be dressed in a business suit. You gotta look the part. Gotta look the role. Be polite and respectful. Remember, it's Japan. Remember, this is Japan. Make sure you speak in polite form. Okay. Must always use polite form. Learn Keigo. Demonstrate respect for the interviewer and company throughout the process. Bowing, using polite language, and arriving early are essential. What kind of jobs are available for foreigners? So what kind of jobs do they have here? Of course, English teaching jobs, obviously. They want to, they want their kids to learn some English at times. There are some who probably want to pursue jobs that require English and would need that too. There are two main types of English teaching jobs in Japan. Assistant language teacher, ALT positions are typically found in public schools. ALTs work alongside Japanese teachers to assist with English language instruction. ALTs typically have a bachelor's degree in a TEFL or CLTA certification, but they do not need to be fluent in Japanese. That's the only time. That's pretty much the only time where just speaking only English, you could get away with it because, yeah, because you gotta teach English. Private language school teaching positions. Private language schools offer English classes to students of all ages, from children to adults. Private language school teachers typically have a bachelor's degree in a TEFL and CELTA certification. They may also need to be fluent in Japanese. Let's see, qualifications for English teaching. Let's move on. Is there another one? Let's see. Translation and interpreting jobs in Japan for foreigners. Translation and interpreting are essential services in Japan, as the country has a long history of international trade and cultural exchange. There's a strong demand for translators and interpreters who can bridge the language gap between Japanese and foreign businesses and individuals. If you're a video game fan, you see Shigeru Miyamoto when he had Bill Trinen around translating for him. That type of profession for Nintendo. You'll see that a lot. Whenever there's a Japanese businessman or Japanese executive have an interpreter now and translate the whole thing. Translation involves converting written language from one language to another. Translators can work in a variety of fields, including business, finance, law, and medicine. You need to know a lot of kanji on that one. Interpreting involves converting spoken language from one language to another. Hospitality and tourism jobs in Japan for foreigners. Hospitality and tourism industries have grown rapidly in recent years. There's a strong demand for workers in these fields. Hospitality and tourism jobs are available in a variety of settings, including hotels, restaurants, travel agencies, tour companies, and tourist attractions. Interesting. Types of hospitality and tourism jobs: hotel staff, restaurant staff, travel agency staff, tour guides, tourist attraction staff. Qualifications: you need Japanese language proficiency, customer service skills, most definitely, communication skills, and ability to work in a fast-paced environment. So it looks like that's the end here. This is just it's some more stuff, but yeah, you can check this site out. Japan Truly, Job Hunting in Japan, a guide. If you want to further read, there's a whole lot more involving. Japan based, very good website, quite honestly, in explaining Japanese culture. Job hunting in Japan, a guide for foreigners. Job hunting can be frustrating in your home country or abroad. Japan has its own unique set of rules, and to succeed, you need to be aware of these cultural differences. Whether you're coming from your home country with zero experience working in a Japanese environment, or a long-time expat looking to expand your horizons, this guide can help you find your next job in Japan. Since I'm trying, this was written June 6th, 2022. No author here. Yeah, one of the things that tends to happen, like when you go into certain restaurants, you'll hear, or certain stores, you'll probably hear someone scream out, "Irashaimase." I took a cue from that when I do my Japanese language live streams. I always, or whenever people come by and say hello, I always, say "Irashaimase." When dealing with Japanese and foreign and foreign as well, pretty much everybody who shows up on my Japanese language live streams, I always say "Irashaimase" as a greeting, which is a very formal form of greeting with companies, stores, restaurants, and such like that. Ooh, what is this here? Sorry, something got stuck in my glasses. Blooper. What are your career options? Most foreigners who come to Japan start their careers as English teachers, especially Americans, though the well-known JET program or a private English conversation company, a Kaiwa. Expats often spend 1 to 5 years in that position while picking up and improving their Japanese language skills. However, teaching English isn't necessarily the only career path in Japan. There are job opportunities across all fields. Japan has a preference for skill over experience, as this makes it easier to train prospective employees. Most importantly, your Japanese language proficiency will also have to be up to par to communicate effectively with your co-workers. So JLPT N2 is at least required to enter the Japanese workforce. That's very high. That is very high. The Japanese language proficiency test is basically a kanji test, primarily how well you read Japanese kanji, because there's over 20,000 characters that can form many types of words, but they can also have so many meanings for just one character. It's very difficult. Even Japanese admit that it's very difficult, and they assure you it's okay and to take your time and everything. They're very the Japanese people that I have met in my experience, has assured me that it's okay. Regarding kanji, and not to worry too much about it. Like, it still needs to be learned, but they just assure you, that you're not alone. Is the point they're trying to say. They're saying you're not alone. We have the same issue. So don't worry about it. Saying learn the kanji. You still gotta learn the kanji, but don't panic. Is what I'm saying. Don't panic. Japanese understand. They understand. Where to look for a job? Japanese online job boards. We went through this before. Oh yeah, that was in the other one. They were showing these ones here, like Career Cross, Japan Dev. Networking in Japan. For those already living in Japan, this gives you a massive advantage over your competition. Business relationships in Japan often play a more significant role in the decision-making process than overseas, and building a solid, varied network can help find jobs in Japan. Networking is an easy and enjoyable way to meet a broad group of people from different working fields in Japan. At these events, you can connect to companies and meet with recruiters, not to mention learn about positions before they are even offered online. Guess why not? And get to know people. You never know when a contact will come in handy. Oh, interesting. Join an international group on Facebook or Meetup to learn more about specific industry events. You should also keep an eye out for the American Chamber of Commerce in Japan. They frequently hold networking events open to all nationalities. Oh, well, that's interesting. You can enlist a recruiter, filling out a Japanese resume. How does that work? Regardless of your job search method, it will eventually lead to you filling out a Japanese resume. You can pick up template copies of a standard resume in stationery and convenience stores, or get one online. Traditionally, these are filled out by hand with a black pen. However, recently, more and more companies have been more open to accepting typed out resumes. It's an essential step in job searching. I can understand why they would do the hand by black pen, and that's because they need to see if you can really write kanji. That wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. I could see that. It's an essential step in job searching. It should not be taken lightly. Proofread. From simply looking at a handwritten resume, employers can understand a lot about the potential candidate. The fact that a candidate has taken the time to write out their educational background and work history, as well as their reasons for applying, conveys their desire to work there. That makes sense. Even if you can't write kanji, employers will appreciate your effort with your resume. It can be hard work filling out your resume over and over for potential jobs, but it'll pay off. What is essential? This is a very big article. Dress standards. Just wear a business suit. That's it. You should wear a typical dark suit appropriate for a job interview. Nothing patterned or pinstripes. A single suit with 2 buttons is fastened with a double suit. The top button must be fastened. The shirt must be white. That's how we saw that with in Magilumiere. Everyone was dressed in black with white shirts and tie. Online interviews. All right. So there's still a lot more to go. There's a lot more to go here. Common job interview questions at companies. So, if you're looking to work in Japan, they seem to have some good information here. Job hunting in Japan based, and Japan Truly. You'll find the links down in the description below. So, you could check all that out for further stuff. So. Let's get down to the show, and let me tell you something. It was good. They did a great job with the animation. It's really great. The costumes really look just like in the manga. That really popped out nicely. The CGI definitely was not overbearing. It's noticeable, but it's not distracting. It definitely wasn't distracting. I could tell you that much. So it was a pretty. It was pretty well executed. Let's see here. Kana, the world build was very well executed, explaining that there are corporations, show you how the combat works, shows you all the protocols, that which is great. You know, you get to see that you get to see it done in a business type manner. They don't just rush in and start attacking like you would see in all sorts of superhero shows and stories. Here you see the whole procedure, and it is very procedural. They don't the magical girls don't just go in willy-nilly like you would see in other magical girls. They assess the area, they consider the collateral, they consider people's safety. It's pretty great in terms of world building. So one of my top three favorites of the episode is at the very beginning when she's riding on top of two bikes. Kana is riding on two motorbikes to fight this crazy killer Kai here. As you can see, she's standing on top of that. Just like in the manga, a great way to sell your character, one of your magic girl's characters, than doing a crazy stunt like this and taking on something as big as that. It's pretty fantastic how it was well executed. Again, the CGI was very noticeable, but I didn't find it distracting or anything. And blowing up the Kai was very well done. It was a pretty good, hilarious moment, showing that setting the mood, the tone. There's gonna be action. There's gonna be fun, funny moments. It was all nice and compacted right in those first few minutes, and really sells the story good. And then of course, after this whole fight sequence, you get a brief notation about the magical girl in the world, being under corporations, and being a career. And that there are many from small to large, and of course establishing that we're going to be following the small one, a smaller one. The next one is the ever classic magical girl transformation sequence. But what makes this my top moment is the fact that this is a grown woman. Yeah, I mean, like Sailor Moon, Cutie Honey were the first ones to do transformation sequence in a very elaborate way. Cutie Honey, of course, is a grown woman, but then the Magic Girl genre, the animators, the creators, and all that took Cutie Honey's famous transformation sequence and applied it to teenage girls for some reason. And it just goes so weird. It goes into weird places. But given that Hitomi here is a grown woman, yes, it is so much fun to watch. It's very fun to watch. Oh man. So yeah, the way that she goes about it turns it to like it's all popping up nicely in the manga. You get the whoosh and whoosh sound effects in kanji, and then she ends up doing like let's see here when they zoom in. Was it over here? No, I think I missed it. She starts doing the model face. What's it called? Yeah, there it is. She does the model. She starts modeling out. Hold on, let's pull that back a little bit more. Hold on. Let's show that. Oh my gosh, it's pretty hilarious. Oh my gosh, there we go. There we go. Oh my gosh, you know what this reminds me of? I just thought of it. Penny and Stockings with Garter Belt. They're supposed to be magical girls, angels from heaven, but they're magical girls. And oh my gosh, did they take the transformation sequence to the logical conclusion? Like, you want to talk about satirizing the over-sexualization of the magical girl's transformation sequence. Panty and stocking with garter belt, hands down, made that so clear how messed up it is by having the angels pole dancing while transforming. Oh my gosh, it was just so hilarious when that happened. I was like, yes, the logical conclusion. Oh man, it was the logical conclusion. It was just so cracking. I just couldn't stop cracking up because it was just so true what they were saying in that show. Oh man. So so yeah, yeah, it's a breath of fresh air to see that it's a grown woman doing this. I know a lot of people be typing, but you know, it's like, come on. They took it to an extreme level. The creators, both the men and the women, the male and female creators, took it to such an extreme level. It rightfully deserved to be mocked by panty and stocking with garter belt. And my final favorite moment, is the ice fight. They fighting off the ice kite. It was pretty cool. Here we go. The fight with the ice kite, the frostoid kai. This really, even though the beginning shows you how the beginning of the combat at the start of the show is just to show you what type of character Hitomi is. Our first magic girl that we were introduced to. She just showed how she combats, how the combat works, that they're establishing the tone and everything. This whole sequence establishes the rules of how the operation works. I really love how it's done. He told me, assessed the situation. She asked questions. She reported to Kaede regarding the whole thing and if there would be any backup, because she realized that the Kai got too big for one magic girl to handle. She looked for backup. The procedures, the policies, everything was really mapped out nicely. There was professionalism, because she's very bodacious. She's a wildfire, but she still showed professionalism, and she also showed concern for both collateral damage and the safety of people, prioritizing all of that above all else. She knew that it was going to take a risk bringing in Kana. Bringing in civilians, but she needed to get it done because it was about to go out of control. The thing was about to blow up and turn the whole entire building to an iceberg, a literal ice, which means that everybody inside was going to get frozen to death, frozen over in a block of ice and die. And she had to do something quick. And what's great is that we get to see how the tech works here, because even though it's a magic wand, it's actually being operated through an app that Kana is working on. And we get to see Kana's skill come into play, where where her memory recall, which was established early in the series, she remembered all of the tech stuff, because she does a lot of interviews, so she researches the tech stuff, and she saw the issue in that the settings, which is very interesting. The app settings was for dealing with speed Kai, but this was a stationary Kai, and she was able to, adjust the whole thing for Hitomi, and Hitomi was able to take out the monster. And of course, it inspired Kana to join the team. But what's great about it is that we get all the rules in place and we see it done, fleshed out. It's great to see it animated and was very thoroughly covered. They could have so easily, condensed it and shortened it down, as opposed to the manga. In the manga, it goes, they go through all the details, all the steps and procedures, and the fact that they did that in the anime is great, because you get an idea that that this is a professionally run company. It is a professionally run company. It's they have the procedures and the morality, of course. You know, safety prioritizations of safety and everything. Unlike the executive, who just didn't give a rat's ass. It's like, come on, man. can you prioritize people's safety and worry less about the money and all that stuff? So I like this. I like it because it helps newcomers, those who don't read the manga, to really see how the world works. Those who probably look at Magical Girl, Magilumiere as like, oh, it's another teenage Magical Girl. If they were to watch this, they would see how intricate the whole entire thing is, and that there is a process and professionalism that could probably draw newcomers into the whole thing. But it's also a great breath of fresh air from the whole Magical Girl genre of combat and such. So yeah, those are my three moments, my three favorite moments of the show. Very good, very well executed, great start. I do want to point out the president, the president himself, Shigemoto. I am so mad at the opening and the ending revealing him. I hate that they reveal him. I also hate that the manga cover reveals him too. This is book 1 of the manga, and it reveals Shigemoto. I didn't notice it. I didn't notice him. I just jumped right into the story, but I was reading off of Viz on the start, so I didn't see him. So when he popped up on the panel, I was like, cracking up. I was cracking up and everything. It was pretty hilarious. and I would have liked it if they hadn't done that with the opening and ending. Normally these days anime don't do the opening and EDs, sometimes. Until episode 2, so I was kind of surprised that they did this because it kind of ruined the surprise of seeing Shigemoto in a Magical Girl outfit with the drained out face. He has a whole drained out face. The man is stressed and exhausted. But they did a great job on the first episode, and I can't wait to see the second episode. So good. Good. Head on over to BarnesandNoble.com and Amazon.com and grab yourself a copy of The Impossible Man, a strange fantasy novel written by me. You'll find the links to the novel down in my description below, along with links to other merch that says pins, stickers, t-shirts, music. Enjoy the products. Thank you for your patronage. And if you happen to purchase the book and did a YouTube video on it, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing the video and hear your take. If you want, you could join me on my live multi-stream every Monday through Thursday, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch and Kick, where you could catch the full reactions on live, along with Japanese cultural research and language research, video games, lots of video games, random takes, and talks and small talks and all kinds of stuff. It's a fun hangout. I look forward to seeing you all. So until the next episode of Magilumiere, thank you all for joining me, and I wish you all a good night, buenas noches, and oyasuminasai.